In ancient Israel, there lived a prophet with extraordinary abilities, one who could outrun horses and who never saw death. His name was Elijah. Today, we will unfold the story of how these incredible events transpired, how Elijah exhibited such power, and what fueled his remarkable feats. Elijah, a prophet from Tishbe in Gilead, proclaimed to King Ahab, "In the name of the Lord, the living God of Israel whom I serve, I tell you that there will be no dew or rain for the next few years until I say so." Then the Lord instructed Elijah, "Leave this place and go east. Hide by the Cherith brook, east of the Jordan. The brook will supply you with water to drink, and I have commanded ravens to bring you food there." Elijah obeyed the Lord's command, staying by the Cherith brook. He drank from the brook, and ravens brought him bread and meat every morning and evening. However, after a while, the brook dried up because of the lack of rain. The Lord then told Elijah, "Now go to the town of Zarephath near Sidon and stay there. I have commanded a widow there to feed you." Elijah went to Zarephath. Upon arriving at the town gate, he saw a widow gathering firewood. He asked her, "Please bring me a drink of water." As she went to get it, he called out, "And please bring me some bread too." She replied, "By the living Lord your God, I swear I have no bread, only a handful of flour in a bowl and a bit of olive oil in a jar. I am gathering some firewood to take back home and prepare what little I have for my son and me. After that, we will starve to death." Elijah said, "Don't worry. Go on and prepare your meal, but first make a small loaf from what you have and bring it to me. Then prepare the rest for you and your son. For this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says, the bowl will not run out of flour, nor will the jar run out of oil, until the day the Lord sends rain." The widow did as Elijah had instructed, and they had enough food for many days. As the Lord had promised through Elijah, the bowl did not run out of flour, nor did the jar run out of oil. Sometime later, the widow's son fell gravely ill and eventually died. She said to Elijah, "Man of God, why did you do this to me? Did you come here to remind God of my sins and cause my son's death?" Elijah took the boy from her arms, carried him upstairs to the room where he was staying, and laid him on the bed. He prayed aloud, "O Lord my God, why have you brought tragedy upon this widow who has been kind to me by causing her son to die?" Then Elijah stretched himself out on the boy 3 times and prayed, "O Lord my God, restore this child to life." The Lord answered Elijah's prayer. The child began to breathe again and revived. Elijah brought the boy back downstairs and said to his mother, "Look, your son is alive." She responded, "Now I know you are a man of God, and the word of the Lord from your mouth is the truth." In the 3rd year of the drought, the Lord said to Elijah, "Go and present yourself to King Ahab, and I will send rain." So Elijah set out. The famine in Samaria was severe. King Ahab summoned Obadiah, who was in charge of the palace and a devout worshipper of the Lord. When Jezebel was killing the Lord's prophets, Obadiah had hidden 100 of them in 2 caves, 50 in each, and supplied them with food and water. Ahab said to Obadiah, "Let us search every spring and stream in the land to see if we can find enough grass to keep the horses and mules alive. Maybe we won't have to kill any of our animals." They divided the land to explore, each going in a different direction. As Obadiah was on his way, he suddenly encountered Elijah. Recognizing him, Obadiah bowed and asked, "Is it really you, Elijah?" "Yes, it is," Elijah replied. "Go and tell your master, the king, that I am here." Obadiah answered, "What have I done wrong that you are sending me to Ahab to be killed? By the living Lord your God, the king has searched for you in every nation. Whenever a ruler reported that you were not in their country, Ahab required that ruler to swear you could not be found. Now you want me to tell him you are here. What if the Spirit of the Lord carries you away when I leave? When Ahab comes and can't find you, he will kill me. I have been a devout worshiper of the Lord since my youth. Haven't you heard that I hid 100 prophets of the Lord in caves when Jezebel was killing them? I supplied them with food and water. And now you want me to tell the king you are here? He will kill me." Elijah assured him, "As the Lord Almighty lives, whom I serve, I will present myself to Ahab today." So Obadiah went to inform Ahab, who then set out to meet Elijah. When Ahab saw him, he exclaimed, "So there you are, the worst troublemaker in Israel." Elijah replied, "I am not the troublemaker. You and your family are. You have abandoned the Lord's commands and worshipped Baal. Now summon all Israel to meet me at Mount Carmel, along with the 450 prophets of Baal and the 400 prophets of Asherah, who eat at Jezebel's table." Ahab did as Elijah requested. When the people and prophets assembled at Mount Carmel, Elijah challenged them, "How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him, but if Baal is God, follow him." The people remained silent. Elijah continued, "I am the only prophet of the Lord left, but Baal has 450 prophets. Bring 2 bulls. Let Baal's prophets choose one, cut it into pieces, and place it on the wood without setting fire to it. I will prepare the other bull and place it on the wood without setting fire to it. Then you call on the name of your God, and I will call on the name of the Lord. The God who answers by fire, he is God." All the people agreed. Elijah said to the prophets of Baal, "You choose one of the bulls and prepare it first, since there are so many of you. Call on the name of your God, but do not light the fire." They prepared the bull and called on Baal from morning until noon, shouting, "Answer us, Baal." But there was no response. They danced around the altar they had made. At noon, Elijah began to mock them, "Shout louder. Surely he is a god. Perhaps he is deep in thought, or busy, or traveling. Maybe he is sleeping and must be awakened." So they shouted louder and slashed themselves with swords and spears, as was their custom, until their blood flowed. Midday passed, and they continued their frantic prophesying until the time for the evening sacrifice, but there was no response. Then Elijah said to all the people, "Come here to me." They came to him, and he repaired the altar of the Lord, which had been torn down. He took 12 stones, one for each of the tribes descended from Jacob, to whom the word of the Lord had come, saying, "Your name shall be Israel." With the stones, he built an altar in the name of the Lord and dug a trench around it large enough to hold 2 seahs of seed. He arranged the wood, cut the bull into pieces, and laid it on the wood. Then he said, "Fill 4 large jars with water, and pour it on the offering and on the wood." "Do it again," he said, and they did it again. "Do it a 3rd time," he ordered, and they did it the 3rd time. The water ran down around the altar and even filled the trench. At the time of the evening sacrifice, Elijah stepped forward and prayed, "O Lord, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known today that you are God in Israel, and that I am your servant and have done all these things at your command. Answer me, O Lord, answer me, so these people will know that you, O Lord, are God and that you are turning their hearts back again." Then the fire of the Lord fell and burned up the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and the soil, and also licked up the water in the trench. When all the people saw this, they fell prostrate and cried, "The Lord, he is God. The Lord, he is God." Elijah commanded them, "Seize the prophets of Baal. Don't let anyone get away." They seized them, and Elijah had them brought down to the Kishon Valley and slaughtered there. Then Elijah said to Ahab, "Go, eat and drink, for there is the sound of a heavy rain." So Ahab went off to eat and drink, but Elijah climbed to the top of Mount Carmel, bent down to the ground, and put his face between his knees. "Go and look toward the sea," he told his servant. He went up and looked. "There is nothing there," he said. 7 times Elijah said, "Go back." The 7th time, the servant reported, "A cloud, as small as a man's hand, is rising from the sea." So Elijah said, "Go and tell Ahab, hitch up your chariot and go down before the rain stops you." Meanwhile, the sky grew black with clouds, the wind rose, and a heavy rain started falling. Ahab rode off to Jezreel. The power of the Lord came on Elijah, and tucking his cloak into his belt, he ran ahead of Ahab all the way to Jezreel.